Hi everyone, my name is Kelley Elliot. It's great to be with you today. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes talking about employee benefit surveys. So excited to be part of the Quasi-Nava team here as an advisor and to give you my thoughts on this. Just a little bit about me and my background. I am with Delta Airlines. I have been with the company for about 4 years. I lead our total rewards team. And we have, we're focused on compensation and benefits and all the things that a typical total rewards team is focused on. Here at Delta, we do a lot of employee listening. So I'm really excited to talk to you about surveys as one component of how we do that employee listening, and just give you some tips of what might work for your organization as well. So let's just jump right in. So first of all, what is the goal of a benefits survey? From our perspective, this is just one way that any survey that we do with employees is a way that we listen to people. That is a core tenet of who we are as an organization, is listening and acting based on employee feedback. We do that with surveys. We do a lot of employee interest group focus groups. We, take individual feedback that we may get via emails. We kind of take all sources of input and synthesize it and use it to develop a lot of the programs that we deliver to employees. So surveys are a big piece of that. And it's really just about listening and acting. We think it's important to do both of those, both listen and act. If you're going to ask and not necessarily take action, it may not be the best idea to ask. So we really try to listen and act with any survey or any kind of employee listening. What can a thoughtful survey process enable for your benefits offering? I think it enables a couple of things. You always want to be able to go out with your benefits offering and say that, we've taken feedback, we've taken employee, we've taken external feedback, and we've taken market feedback to deliver a really comprehensive benefits package. So it really enables the communications, the education about your benefits, that you can really approach it from the perspective of, we've heard you, we're taking action based on what we think you and your families need. This way you can really, I think make it real for them, develop the with them. If you don't know what's in it for them, it's hard to develop a good program. So it's really about understanding what people need and developing a package that could really help them with what they need. So I think that's the most important thing. I think the other thing that it can enable is, ultimately, you are getting the most for your money, right? Benefits are a huge investment, and you want to invest in things that people are going to value, and maybe not invest in things that people aren't valuing. And without asking in some way, it's hard to know really what is most valuable. So if you think of an efficient frontier, you always want to deliver the highest value, maybe for the least amount of cost. And I think a survey helps you really understand what people are valuing, so you can drive towards that most efficient offering as well. So from my perspective, it's really about making sure we're driving value with employees and also being able to help them feel heard. All right, we'll keep going on to the next question. What is at stake if you forego a survey? If you're doing regular surveys, I would say nothing is at stake if you forego one. It's okay if you can't do this every quarter or every month or every year, but you want to, give people an opportunity to feel heard. So if you forego it, it doesn't mean you can't deliver a great benefit package. I think you probably have other ways that you've received feedback about your benefit programs. I'm sure you hear from people, depending on the size of your organization. You may be able to talk to a large portion of people. You may get emails. You may hear from your leaders about what they're hearing from their team. So there are other ways to get this feedback if you don't do a survey. But I think it's just a really quick, efficient way to get that kind of feedback. So great to just start building a plan. Even if it's not something you want to do right now, it's great to build a plan over time to find ways to incorporate this into your practices. All right, so can you tell a story of a time when you took action based on survey data? Yes, so I'm going to share a recent experience we had as we developed our benefit programs for 2022. I had to think for a minute what year we're in because, the years just seem to be passing so fast these days. So going back, it was pre-COVID, we did a survey in late 2019 about our healthcare plans. we got an amazing amount of feedback from probably about 20 to 25% of our employee base. There were really three key themes that came out of that. And then COVID hit, and we didn't, unfortunately, have the opportunity to take action right then. We had other priorities to help keep the airline alive. But once we kind of came out of that initial phase, we were able to really take a step back and say, you know what, we heard a lot. We got a lot of great feedback in 2019. That feedback hasn't changed. It's probably even more heightened. So we were able to kind of really dig into that and continue to use that survey data from just a few years ago to develop what we offered for 2022, which is just the start of kind of how we're evolving some of our programs. One of the biggest themes that came out of that survey was on the theme of affordability. We had fully a strategy that was all high deductible plans. And people, while we think those are efficient, people didn't necessarily understand how to utilize an HSA and how to really package this all together. And so what we were hearing from people is they felt like they didn't have insurance up till that deductible. And so it helped us truly understand that there was a lack of understanding and that we needed to either change our offering or educate, or both. So in 2022, we actually changed our strategy completely. We introduced a new plan that was not a high deductible plan. And we really messaged that for people with significant healthcare needs, that may be a good option for them. But otherwise, let's take the moment to educate why still the high deductible plan and an HSA might still be a good option for many people, and really kind of took the feedback to understand where people were coming from so that we could develop an education plan. It's not perfect. We probably still have a lot of the same feedback when we do another survey, but it helped us really know where we needed to focus in our design and our communications. Now, I will say we've built a new team here at Delta led by a chief health officer that is really continuing this listening strategy, and I'm sure they will learn a lot more, and they're focused on experience and care as well as affordability. So I can't wait to see what they're able to deliver as they continue to listen. All right, what are the top 3 markers of a great survey process? Number 1 is, I think we want to make sure you have a large representation, or at least a statistically significant representation of your employee population. Now, if you have 80 people working at your organization, that might be, 10 to 20 people. That's going to look different than our 80,000. Obviously, we're going to be going after something different. We may be able to have a smaller sample size. So I would work with Nava or other advisors that you have to kind of help you think through how can you get to a level of significance so that you feel like you've appropriately represented your full population. For a large company, it may be fewer than you think actually to get there. But for a smaller organization, you might just want to think through in a more targeted way how to get that. The second thing is that you get good representation across different demographic groups and different divisions of your organization to make sure that you represent different viewpoints and not just kind of the mass viewpoint. And then finally, I think the last marker of a great survey process is that people don't feel like they had to spend a lot of time on it. That they, maybe it's 3 to 5 minutes, and that people feel like, okay, I can make my voice heard, and I know that the organization hears me and takes that feedback. I think that also allows you to survey on a more frequent basis if it doesn't feel like it's an onerous process for the individuals that you're asking. So make it as simple as possible to access and to complete the survey. I'm sure all of you have flown on a Delta flight. Hopefully you've all flown on a Delta flight and you've all received an email or some form of communication afterwards asking you to complete a survey. We are big on our customer surveys, and we try to make those as quick as possible to get that feedback. And so we take a lot of those same strategies as we think about how we survey our employees. We work really closely with our consumer insights team to help educate us on how we can kind of create those employee insights as well. And thank you if you were on a Delta flight and you took the survey. Finally, last question. What's your biggest piece of advice to HR leaders who want to level up their survey game? I think the number one thing is don't feel that you're bothering your employees, right? People have opinions and they want to be heard. And if it's not an onerous process, I think they will be happy to have been asked. I think I hear more often than not, oh, people have survey fatigue. Maybe that's the case, but I think probably your employees might feel differently as it relates to their own employment and their own total rewards and value proposition. And if you can make it really quick and easy for them, that will help them feel empowered. And so don't be worried about that. I would say just make it easy, get the survey out there, and take action. So listen and act. And I think you'll see some great results from that. So thank you for watching. Thanks for participating in this masterclass series. You're welcome to reach out to me or your NAVA team if you have any questions. And the team will also have, extra support for you in terms of surveys if you want to reach out to your employees. So thank you. Take care.